Shavua Tov, everyone. Welcome to Tillis Tell Stories for Saturday night. The title of this week's video is Investment Formulas. I adopted the story from the book From My Father's Shabbos Table. Eliyahu Talger's an excellent selection and translation from Rabbi Yehuda Hitrick's 4-volume series called Rishimat Devorim. Rabbi Shneur-Zalman, one of the main disciples of the Maggid of Mizrich, is the founder of the Chabad Hasidic movement. He is the author of Shulchan Aruch Harav and Tanya, as well as many other major works in both Jewish law and mystical teachings. He passed on the 24th of the Jewish month of Tevet in 1812. When word of Rabbi Shneur-Zalman, the Alter Rebbe of Chabad, and his teachings spread far and wide, many people were attracted to the Hasidic way of life. One young man, who had recently married and was still supported by his in-laws, became exposed to Chassidut and desired to pursue this way of life. In fear of his family and friends, who were not at all inclined towards Chassidut, he disappeared from home one day and traveled to Liozna, the resident at that time of the Alter Rebbe. When his family discovered that he had joined the Hasidim, they literally rent their garments in mourning. His father-in-law, however, was more open-minded and practical. He said, "What do we have to gain by mourning? I will go there and get to the core of the matter. If joining the Hasidim has caused him to stray from the path of Torah, then he must divorce our daughter right away. If he has not, well, then let him come home." Thus determined, the father-in-law set out for Liozna to find out about Chassidut and come to an agreement with his son-in-law. Upon arrival in the Hasidic center, he was very positively impressed by the Chasidim's devotion to Torah and mitzvahs. He was soon convinced that his son-in-law, rather than abandoning Torah life, had advanced in his service of God. Upon coming to this conclusion, he approached his son-in-law and invited him to return home. "I would do so gladly," said the young man. "However, I feel the intolerance of certain members of the family and many friends." The father-in-law then sought the Alter Rebbe's advice directly, requesting that he send his son-in-law home. In private audience, the Rebbe said, "I certainly will not stand in his way. Let him go home if he wants to." "But he is afraid that people back home will harm him," protested the father-in-law. "Well then, make every effort to protect him," the Rebbe replied. The father-in-law was satisfied with the Rebbe's answer and thanked him. He also told the Rebbe how impressed he was with the Hasidic way of life. "However, there is one difficulty that I see," he related. "The Talmud teaches that one should devote 1/3 of the day to study of Scripture, 1/3 to Mishnah, and 1/3 to the Talmud. Now it seems," he continued, "that Chassidut would be included in the study of the Scripture, and should therefore take up only 1/3 of the study day. However, I have noticed my son-in-law devoting the majority of the day to learning Chassidut, while he dedicates only 1/3 to both Mishnah and Talmud. How can that be?" The Alter Rebbe replied with a question. "How do you make your living?" "I have a store." "And how much have you invested in your business?" "About 2,000 rubles." "And how much of that investment is your own money?" "Only 500. The rest is borrowed." "Well then," continued the Rebbe, "how do you reconcile your behavior with the Talmud's guideline for securing one's funds? It says specifically, one should divide his funds into 3 parts, investing 1/3 in business, 1/3 in real estate, and 1/3 should be readily available in cash. Not only have you not divided your money according to the Talmud's injunctions, you have also gone into considerable debt." The father-in-law's response was quick. "With all due respect, Rebbe, that program of investment may have been appropriate for Talmudic times, but it appears entirely impractical at present. Unfortunately, the high cost of living and our difficult circumstances compel one to borrow heavily, and even then one's livelihood is far from assured." The Rebbe's reply was even quicker. "And so it is, my friend, regarding Torah study and self-development. In Talmudic times, one could follow the guidelines you mentioned and maintain a satisfactory level of fear of God. However, in our generation, even with intensified study of Chassidut, true fear of God is difficult to achieve." Yes, folks, it's true. And perhaps the best way to get started in learning Chassidut or the other inner dimensions of Torah is with the Tanya of the Alter Rebbe, by yourself if necessary, but much better with the basic commentaries such as Lessons in Tanya, or with one of the excellent teachers on Chabad.org of the Daily Tanya section. Batzlacha and Shavua Tov.